All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Great Jimbabwe play Slay the Spire, the one last ride playthrough. Got a win last time. One thing I have noticed, and I think I'm going to make a little adjustment here on YouTube. The volume of the game just seems a hair low to me. Let's crank up the music volume and the master volume just a little bit. I think this takes place immediately, so we'll try 30%. If that still seems a little quiet, maybe I'll come back and tinker a little more. All part of the process, people. Let's see. We got a win as the defect last time. Let's try... I think I'm in the mood to play the Silent. So we will play our first Ascension run as the Silent. Here we go. All right, we get offered 4 options here. Transform a card, obtain 100 gold, remove 2 cards, or obtain a boss relic. Mentioned this last time. I don't love the boss swap on the Silent. I think that the extra card draw is just so strong on turn 1. 100 gold, always appealing to me. Let's take a look at our map. We've got the Slime boss, sometimes one of the trickier first floor bosses for the Silent. Silent sometimes struggles to do heavy damage. There are some ways to get around that for sure. I do see a shop here. I think that shop looks pretty good. We got a campfire right after. We can fight a couple more elites. Yeah. That path works for me. So let's leave and start ascending the spire. Feeling pretty good. Feel like I'm starting to remember the intricacies of slaying the spire. We can make this guy weak. Definitely feel like I can start to speed up some of my thought processes, although the game is going to get more difficult. Got 9 damage incoming here. Survivor is a good get there. Let's see. Strike, and I think I'll go ahead and take 1 damage for the increased chance to finish this guy off next turn. And we will do just that. Good start. Okay, got some gold. Let's add a card to our deck. Outmaneuver just will not stay away. I'm telling you, it wants to be a part of the run. Deadly Poison, Sucker Punch, both good first floor cards. We did add several poison cards to the compendium last time. We unlocked cards, if I remember correctly. I think Sucker Punch, the weak combined with some damage, pretty good card. The weak scales well into the late game. That's a very solid first floor attack. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. We are in the midst of potty training at our house, and you know, all the credit in the world to my wife. She came up with a very great plan. Very challenging process. I'll just leave it at that. But by the end of the day, we did have a successful trip to the potties. So, you know, I think everyone was kind of feeling a little down. You know, some accidents and a little bit of frustration across the board. But we got there. So hopefully that will be an indication of more success to come. Obviously some more steps, but big win. Let's see. Outmaneuver shows up again. We have a leg sweep, 2 weak, 11 block. Masterful stab. 1 additional energy each time you lose HP this combat. I'm going to take this. I think early on, Masterful Stab is actually a pretty decent card. Free damage if you haven't been hit yet. Lots of ways to weaken enemies. We can also block this one. So even at 1, I think 12 damage for 1 energy. Pretty good. Okay, no other attacks there. 7. Let's see there. Do 19. We're not going to take this guy out. We'll weaken him in full block. He will have no block next turn. So the hope is we can take him out, and we do. Very nice. Get the Gambler's Brew. Gonna re-roll some of our hand. And we do not get an attack here. We get dodge and roll for block for 2 turns. 0 cost block out of deflect. Acrobatics, get some card draw. This is that one that I keep saying has really gone up on my silent tier list of cards. Might be a little early for acrobatics. I think I'm okay with a 0 cost block. A lot of opportunities to use that. And this is a good one right here. Let's weaken this guy. We're going to take a little damage here, which will hurt our Masterful Stab. We could try to re-roll for it, but I don't think this is that critical of a moment. Yeah, looking good. Let's see, 12, 19... Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing no compelling argument against splitting them there. It's a pretty good split. I don't think we're going to see much better than that. So we have started the bouncing around characters part of our program here. Purely choosing in the moment. Just felt like the time was right for a silent run. You know, not saying we won't do some back-to-backs in the future. But, yeah. Silent can have some very entertaining builds. Let's see if we can find one. I think taking that guy out seems like a good move. Let's get some block. And we'll exhaust the slime. Bleeding a little bit of damage here. I think I'm willing to block a little bit more. And we should still have a pretty good shot to knock this guy out. Guys, let me ask you something. How many times a week do you think you get either a delivery or maybe like an Amazon package? I think I personally have not ordered anything off of Amazon in many years. Now, to be fair, if I want something off of Amazon, I will generally ask my wife to use her account and order it for me. So I'm not going to say I haven't done that from time to time. Let's see here. Acrobatics, Sucker Punch again, and Catalyst. We did not take Deadly Poison. So I think Catalyst is a great card, but with no poison, it's a mild curse. I guess I'll put it that way. Acrobatics. We do have 2 0 cost potentially. I'll try the Acrobatics a little earlier than I'd probably like. Oh, can't afford the White Beast statue, but we can get the Ninja Scroll. Start of each combat, add 3 shivs into your hand. You can run into some spacing issues with this, but that's on my radar. Let's see, Lee's Waffle. I think there's a story behind this. Is Lee someone at this, I guess, the Slay the Spire development team who maybe like ate waffles or something like that? Somebody tell me the backstory there. And Venom. Another interesting one. 2 cost right now, but upgrades to 1. Yeah. An attack deals unblocked damage, apply poison. That's pretty good too. I'm going to try the Ninja Scroll. A lot of synergies there. I think that's something we can build around. But yeah, I swear to you, I genuinely have not ordered anything outside of maybe a hard-to-find snack off of Amazon in a very long time. You would think, based on the number of packages my wife has ordered, that we don't have anything in our house. I don't know what's going on there. I swear I carry 5 to 10 boxes in a week. I don't even think that's an exaggeration. I hope she listens to this and calls me out on it. I would love to. Let's step into the ring on the Amazon packages, wifey. Let's do it. And Lagavulin, we did decide to wake him up there, we being me. I think that's a fine move, though. We will get 3 cards here, so we do have an idea. We could get Neutralize. I think it's worth a shot, yeah. Then Neutralize, the free deflect and 2 blocks does full block. I think that was a good move. Haven't been able to say that enough. Now, the tricky part with the Lagavulin is you do want to make sure you're punching. You gotta hit when you can, because you start to get weaker, and you can definitely get into situations where you cannot do enough damage. I think we're gonna be okay here. We are gonna take a hit. We can always hit the Masterful Stab and then get it back with the Liquid Memories. Kind of tempted to give that a shot here. We did not get it. However, that will guarantee we get it next turn. Let's keep the weak on him, and let's hit him again. So we took a little bit of a calculated risk there, but not the end of the world. Masterful Stab not horribly impacted by the lack of strength. I am going to play Liquid Memories and play this again. Getting a little nervous that we'll run out of options to do damage, because we're going to take more here, and then Masterful Stab will get more expensive. We're probably okay. Yeah, even an expensive Masterful Stab gets the job done. So I think we're going to get through this. Not this turn, though. Do I play the Gambler's Brew, or do we block? We can block for 12. I think that's worth hanging on to the potion. Silent is one of those characters that you really got to be thinking when you take on first floor elites. Both the Lagavulin and Vajra? Let's say Vajra. Start each combat with strength, and that synergizes nicely with our Ninja Scroll, so that's good. Ghost in a Jar, free and tangible at any time of our choosing. Piercing Wail, Sucker Punch, and Blur. I think Piercing Wail, I'm going to start taking that a little more often. Just a very strong card. But yeah, the Gremlin Knob and the Lagavulin can both be a little scary for the Silent if you don't have enough damage, and we were definitely, you know, on the cusp there. Sucker Punch upgraded gives us extra weak. We can also do more damage with Masterful Stab. Both very good. I think we'll take the damage because we're lacking in that department a little bit. We get a shop. We only have 35 gold. We could get Terror, and as a matter of fact, that helps our damage problem. I will take Terror on sale, and we can hopefully one day have 2 gold that we can rub together again. For now, it's we can settle bets with a coin flip, but that's about it. Get the small chest, the Ancient Tea set. Whenever you enter a rest site, start the next combat with energy. Not a lot of obvious use cases for that yet, but happy to have it. Let's upgrade Sucker Punch. Do some more weak. Yeah, I was listening back to some of the early videos now that I've got them up on YouTube, and I just kind of felt that, you know, I don't want to be drowned out by the music, but I do want to hear the beautiful Slay the Spire OST, the original soundtrack. I think it would be a shame for us not to hear that. Let's see. I'm actually going to weaken this guy to strip the artifact. Let's put Vulnerable on him, and then we can play more cards because we got the Ancient Tea set bonus. We are full blocking, so let's hit this guy a little harder. And then next turn, we're thinking about maybe taking out one of our attackers, which is great. All right, Sucker Punch looks pretty good here. Although I would like to full block. Let's take him out. We will discard and block. I think that's totally fine. Now we can start hitting the vulnerable sentry. And if we have a bad draw, we do have the Ghost in a Jar. Or the Gambler's Brew. We have Ghost in a Jar too, but Gambler's Brew could get us out of a jam. And that's the power of Terror. Vulnerable can really turn the tide sometimes. But we are going to have to punch through this guy on our own. And I think I'm willing to take a little damage here. Let's get the artifact off. Maybe get some weak on him. Do we want a Gambler's Brew to maybe full block? Sure. I think Amber's Brew is not so great that it can't be used when there's a reasonable time. So our streak is officially back off of the woeful #1, where we had 2 in a row now. We've actually done pretty well overall, so I'm not complaining too much. I'm sure it will get harder. Very nice. Toxic Egg. Add a skill into your deck, upgrade it. Good one to get early. And here is a great time to have the Toxic Egg. Corpse Explosion pre-upgraded. 9 poison, but when the enemy dies, damage equal to its max HP to all enemies. That is an excellent card, and I'm going to take that. But Backflip upgraded, also good. 8 block, draw 2. I guess I do see a little bit of a theme with these common cards that I like. Draw is one of those things that's just always good to have no matter where you are in the game, but Corpse Explosion is just... yeah. So we would fight the Gremlin Knob here. Corpse Explosion does not help us with that. I think that is a scary enough fight that I am going to avoid it. And at 45 HP, I think I'm going to go ahead and upgrade. Terror Plus is free. Better Piercing Whale, also good. I'm going to keep the weak going. There's definitely an argument for Terror there, I think. Okay, so this is a... I mean, does it get much better than this for Corpse Explosion? I mean, this is... So it does 9. Let's double check. Let's do our homework here. So Corpse Explosion applies 9 poison. So we want to take the highest HP, this guy, down to around 9, if possible. And I think that is very possible at potentially the cost of 0 energy. Now let's think. Let's Acrobatics first. We did not get Corpse Explosion. In that case, I will ditch a strike. We will hit this guy. We're taking 11. That is fine. Yeah, and then next turn we're hoping for a Corpse Explosion, but we will get it within the next 2 turns before this guy becomes a problem. Our friend the Gremlin Wizard. We get Corpse Explosion. And now we just smack him. And that's why Corpse Explosion is a great card, an S tier card. I will tell you now, if we end up doing a tier list, don't worry. I know where Corpse Explosion is going. I'm locking it in here. Let's see. Bane, 7 damage. The enemy has poison, 7 more. We do have some poison in our deck now. Outmaneuver upgraded. So I guess Slay the Spire sees we don't want just outmaneuver. So how about Outmaneuver Plus? Ooh. But no, I'm not going to take it. Sucker Punch is interesting. Do we need them a little more damage? I think this is okay. I think we're okay. If I had seen something very good there, I could have been talked into it. But okay, another Corpse Explosion friendly fight. We're taking 12. Let's proc the shields. So when you hit it hasn't happened to us yet. When you hit one of the louse, they go into defensive mode where they have a little bit of block based on the number there. Let's block ourselves. We can also throw that survivor into the mix. We were now full blocking. I think we can pretty much do whatever we want here. And now we're looking for Corpse Explosion. And there it is. Doesn't matter how we do this. Got 3 potions. Leg Sweep. We don't have a ton of energy. Deadly Poison Plus. Both of these are strong. I don't think we're really leaning into a poison build necessarily. Corpse Explosion is one of those cards that just kind of fits everywhere. I'm going to take Leg Sweep. Let's get an opportunity at some big block and then applying weak. We probably want to find an energy relic if we can. Do we have anything that we need to upgrade? I mean, I think Terror is pretty good. Terror or Rest at 45 HP. We have the Intangible, though. I think you go ahead and take your opportunity to upgrade here. I tend to upgrade aggressively and live with the consequences. That's my Slay the Spire motto. Card draw also good here. Better deflect, 3 more block. I think terror is just 2. I mean, we want to be able to play that whenever we get it. So Corpse Explosion is good here. We split the slime boss. There's always a use case for Corpse Explosion. We don't need to block, so let's draw. Yeah, leg sweep here is fine. We'll apply more weak. So this guy will be weak for quite a while. We'll save our piercing whale. No need to purge that from the deck. 9 poison or 21 damage. I don't think we need to play Corpse Explosion here. Interesting little tidbit about a Corpse Explosion for the newcomers to the Spire. This effect actually stacks. It's technically like a debuff, I guess you could say. Yeah, I think we can split them here. Yeah, it's a debuff. So if you play Corpse Explosion on the same enemy multiple times, it will actually deal multiplicative explosive damage, which is just mind-boggling. It's so good. Yeah, 45. That was a pretty decent split, I think. That's not bad. I don't know if there's really a difference between how these slimes attack. I certainly know this guy makes you frail and this guy makes you weak. I think the attacks, like the actual attacks are the same, I think. So I'll just throw it on this guy and we'll attack him. So Masterful Stab right now is still free. However, this guy is going to hit us here. We can weaken him, but he's already weak. Can we split him? We could. Not a great split. Let's call this a thinking man's move again. We could also play the Dexterity Potion, but that still wouldn't full block. 21 out of 45. We wouldn't get Corpse Explosion soon after either. I think I'm going to... let's throw this on the Spike Slime. We're going to take a hit here. If things get bad, we will pop the Intangible. So things are getting a little bad. Is it Intangible bad? No. I don't think so. We will be able to block, full block here. So let's deflect and slime. This guy's going to split. All right, a lot of solutions here. Let's take some enemies off the field. Let's get the slimed out, start cleaning our deck a little bit. Yeah, this kind of goes to show, though, the slime boss is no joke for the silent. I mean, it can get close. All right, if we get Corpse Explosion, we can not only kill this guy, we'll split the other one. So we're looking for Corpse Explosion, ideally. Well, that's a risky move because that costs an energy. I think we go for it, and if we get in trouble, maybe pop the Dex Potion, or we can pop the Intangible. We can also take this guy out for free if things get bad there. So let's see. We do get Corpse Explosion. So let's put it on this guy. So we're going to do 16. It takes him to 14. We'll neutralize. And I'm thinking that we can get out of this potion rich. 11 HP. 2 enemies should be no trouble for us. All right, great start, great start, great start. Let's see what we are offered in the way of rewards. We came out of the first floor with some pretty good relics there, too. I think, I'm starting to remember getting your run off to a good start is very important because it gives you opportunities to take some more chances. And Venom, whenever an attack deals unblocked damage to apply poison, could work with the Ninja Scroll if we get on turn 1. Tools of the Trade. At the start of your turn, draw 1 and discard 1. Then we get Unload, 14 damage. Discard all non-attack cards in your hand. I would put these all in the realm of this particular run, in the realm of good. Maybe not amazing. I think Envenom is kind of interesting to me. Tools of the Trade, kind of helpful for us too. What does this upgrade do? It's free. I think Tools of the Trade works with this. We want to try to increase our chances of getting Corpse Explosion, and second floor in particular. Ooh, we get the Silence starting relic replacement. The Ring of the Serpent replaces Ring of the Snake. At the start of your turn, draw 1 additional card. Interesting. We have not seen Snecko Eye yet. Snecko Eye, the bane of every newcomer, but I think most veterans of the Spire will tell you Snecko Eye is extremely good. Snecko Eye, at the start of your turn, draw 2 additional cards. Start each combat confused. That means when you get a card, when you draw a card into your hand, the cost is randomized. I do not think that impacts Ninja Scroll. I don't know for sure. Kind of scary to test that here, because that really ruins Ninja Scroll if that's the case. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But and then Philosopher's Stone, energy at the cost of enemy strength. I think Ring of the Serpent is not as good as it might appear. I think it's fine, definitely takeable in some situations. But Ring of the Snake, 2 cards on turn 1. I mean, that means to get more net cards. So I'm trying to do the math in my head. Just like turn 3, yeah, because after turn 2, you'd have 2 additional cards. It's kind of slow to me. I mean, obviously, nice to have the benefit in longer fights. So if you go into a boss fight, I think Ring of the Serpent certainly can pay dividends. Let's see if we can prove to the newcomers why Snecko Eye is so good. Always scary to randomize costs. We do have some 0-cost cards in here. Kind of wish we had taken Envenom now. But Leg Sweep Corpse Explosion will be cheap, which is great. Going up against the Collector. So we're looking for expensive but powerful cards. This left path looks appealing. We do have a shop there. And a lot of options. Yeah, I like this left path. Like, when I choose paths, I always say I go with my gut. So shivs are free out of Ninja Scroll. So that's great. That's good to know. And yeah, when I do go with my gut. I think I said that a couple times now, but I do look for some general patterns. I think flexibility being a big one. You want to be able to get out of trouble's way, get out of harm's way if things start to get bad, because there is some, there's some luck involved. The events and the enemies you see. So if things start to go south, you like to be able to turn down a different way. Let's see. Corpse Explosion seems incredibly strong here. Let's weaken this guy. Let's Corpse Explosion this guy. And let's Masterful Stab this guy. I'm going to play our Speed Potion. I have a terrible habit with Speed Potions and Strength and like the Dex Potions. I hold them too long, I think. So let's get 10 block, and that will solve any damage we would take here. But yeah, I think as going back to Snecko Eye, at the start of your turn, draw 2 additional cards. Maybe doesn't sound mind-blowing, but having cards in your hand is the name of the game. It gives you options, even with the randomization factor. If you have some expensive cards, Snecko Eye, in my experience, more often than not, is very good. Skewer is interesting. An X-cost card with Snecko Eye. It always gives us an option to play damage. I think Skewer might be worth a take here. We're at a shop. Certainly take a look. the Toy Ornithopter. We haven't seen this one yet. Whenever you use a potion, heal 5 HP. Gives you a little bit of controlled sustain. Let's see. Thread and needle start with 4 plated armor. And then we get the hand drill. Whenever you break an enemy's block, apply 2 vulnerable. Until next turn, it prevents damage. That's the block explanation. And then vulnerable creatures take 50% more damage from attacks. Hand drill is tough for me. I just... There's some fights I feel like everyone hates this relic. There's a couple fights, though, where I do think the hand drill can be okay. It's not worth 150 gold, though. Like, I just don't see us spending our hard-earned cash on that. We could remove... There is another shop coming up. I think I'm going to hang on to the cash and go for another relic. Removal at a higher ascension probably would have been the right choice there, but hey, let's try to have some fun with it. Okay. Pretty good snack OI there. We can play that for free. Tools of the Trade is free. We'll smack this guy a couple times. Do I want to strip? I think I do want to strip the artifact, or the artifact down a little bit. Let's do that. We have to discard a card with our Tools of the Trade. I think 2-cost Acrobatics is not going to be played. Defend. He's doing 10 damage. Can do 24 here. Not a great snack OI that time. Let's get a skill. Let's get all good. Let's get Blur so we full block, and that gives us the option to hit this guy a little bit here. Yeah. Very much okay with that decision. Some bigger damage inbound here. Are we going to play a 2-cost strike? I do not think so. I definitely do not think so. Leg sweep. Get some of that artifact off again. Now, Corpse Explosion is interesting here. The poison will not hit this guy, but the explosion will. But unfortunately, the explosion does nothing for us, but we can Sucker Punch first. And now the poison will hit this guy. Yeah. Let's defend. So we're going to take a little damage. Well, no, we're not. Good fight. And we get another potion, even if it's not one of my favorites. Let's see. Infinite Blades. Add a shiv to your hand. I would assume this works like Ninja Scroll, where the shiv is not drawn, it is added. I'm interested enough. The academic in me, the Slay the Spire student, wants to make sure that's how this works. I think the early Ascension is the time to test some of this stuff. So let's see. Wow. We might be in the unique situation where Bag of Prep does not help us at all. I think our first draw is already a full house. But we're going to find out together because we don't need the key. All right. Get Blade Dance, 4 shifts since you're pre-upgraded. Riddle with Holes, very interesting. 2 costs normally, but remember that will be randomized, so on average it will probably be a little less expensive. Chrysalis, a 2-cost colorless card, 5 skills, and they cost 0, but when we draw them, they will be randomized, I think is how that's going to work. So Chrysalis, not so good. We do have the strength to go with Riddle with Holes too, so this will be 4 by 5 with an upgrade, maybe even better. Yeah, so we can get this up to 25 damage. I think that Riddle with Holes seems like a good take here. Let's remove, start to do some of that. I don't think strikes are too good for us. I think Deflect actually is probably a target for removal. We didn't upgrade that, did we? Maybe the next time we'll take a Deflect instead of a Defend. Well-laid plan seems good here. Yeah. All right, we're going up against an elite. We do get an AoE-based elite fight. So Corpse Explosion is very good here. Let's hope we draw it in a hurry. Piercing Wail. We'll hit all 3 of these guys. That's essentially a great block right there. Now, 117, I'm taking 9. And this seems like as good a time as any to pop the Essence of Steel. We'll full block this turn. Very nice. So Corpse Explosion did not get cheaper here. That's unfortunate. But not the end of the world. So this guy's on 20 health, essentially. We are going to take a little damage here. I can pop the Ghost in a Jar, but can't attack next turn either is the issue. Can't play the strikes. Might as well get rid of that. You know, this is just not... You hate to blow the Ghost in a Jar here, but... 1527. I mean, we can block quite a bit of this. I think we do need to think about this guy will not KO the Taskmaster either. So we are going to have to attack a little bit more. I decided to eat it. You know, we'll see. This is a guy that might live. So I'm going to hit him with the leg sweep. In fact, he will live, but these two guys will go. All right, we got through it. Took a lot of damage. We get the tiny chest. Fourth question mark room is a treasure room. 2 cost 1,000 cuts. Whenever you play a card, deal damage to all enemies, or Bouncing Flask, apply 3 poison to a random enemy 4 times. Both of these will be randomized. Both good. Keep clicking the deck when I want to look at the map. I really think both of these are good. Prepared is an obvious no at 0 cost. What's the upgrade here? 2 damage to all enemies. It's already upgraded. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna take... We just don't play that many cards. Well, we draw a lot with Snicko. I'll take 1,000 cuts. I think both would have been fine. Let's... 44. Let's rest. I think I will try to challenge an elite here. Ooh, the Mausoleum. Venturing through a series of tombs, you are faced with a large sarcophagus, studded with gems in the center of a circular room. You cannot make out the writing on the coffin, however, you do notice black fog seeping out from the sides. We can open the coffin and obtain a relic, but there is a 50% chance we will be cursed. I believe this becomes a 100% chance at higher ascensions, which is always scary. We don't have enough money to remove the curse either. So normally, if we could get to the shop with enough to remove, I think it's a no-brainer. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's be smart. Okay. I'm feeling chest, fire, question mark rooms, elite, fire. Let's do it. Question card. Feature card rewards have 1 additional card to choose from. Always a welcome addition. Not sure that what exactly we're looking for. Let's try to think about that a little bit more. One thing I have not done is thought, what makes this deck go? I think a couple of upgrades do help us here. So let's get one of them now. I think upgraded Riddle with holes seems pretty good. So that's going to be 5 times 5. Very nice. We're going to get double Sneckoed. I don't think he will... Oh, well, I guess he does attack you with that anyway. Would have loved to have had... well, probably should have tried that. Okay, that's fine. We'll strike. Strike. I think that's a pretty solid turn 1. I'm going to keep Piercing Wail around, I think. Well, what else am I getting into this fine day? It's a little bit late in the day here. But after a long day of the potty training escapades, we decided to take a little separate time amongst the group. So wifey's probably watching one of her go-to shows that's maybe not one of my favorites. and decided to do a little recording. I might do a little gaming, play a little Overwatch. Been playing some Stadium. I think, yeah, we'll go ahead and play this. Yeah, take 1 damage, that's fine. Stadium's pretty interesting mode, having a good time with that. I don't see us playing. I will play Infinite Blades before before we're done here, but now is not the time. Let's terror this guy. Can't play leg sweep though. Do 24. Is not enough. It still would not have been enough even with. We should play it though. Get the extra 1 damage there. I don't think we want a 3-cost card in our hand. I happen to be recording this at a time where Stadium is certainly being fine-tuned by the dev team over at Blizzard. I think they just implemented the draft, which is each team picks heroes kind of simultaneously. Well, not quite simultaneously. You take turns, but you can see the other team's picks and maybe build around what you're up against. They've already gotten rid of the no mirror matchups. So in the first iteration, I don't think we want any of these. The first iteration, you could not pick a hero that was on the enemy team, but they got rid of that in a hurry. So I guess players must have made their opinion known in a hurry. We get the Face Trader. You walk by an eerie statue holding several masks. Something behind you softly whispers, "Stop." You swerve around to face the statue, which is now facing you on closer inspection. It's not a statue, but a statuesque gaunt man. Is he even breathing? Face, let me touch, maybe trade? We can get 75 gold for the cost of 7 HP, or we can risk it all and try to get a good face or a bad face. The right choice here, in my humble opinion, is to take the gold, if you can afford the damage. But I think really only 2 of the masks are like truly good. But for the memes, let's take it. And we get the Gremlin Visage. Start each combat with weak. That did not work out for us, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. We do get to see a relic that hopefully we don't see too much more down the road. Our treasure chest does pop here. Is this called treasure chest? Yeah, tiny chest. We get a pair, raise our max HP. All the more reason we should have taken the gold. But hey, you live and you learn. Going up against the Book of Stabbing. All right, let's see. Leg sweep, very good against the Book of Stabbing. Let's get our shivs going. We are weak now, which kind of ruins our shivs. Very disappointing. Get a little poison on that guy. And let's hydrate a little bit here, hopefully in preparation for the boss coming up. Let's think. This guy's still weak for 2 turns. We want to try to block if we can. Let's get 8 block. We can't full block. Let's keep the weak on this guy. We don't have 1,000 cuts, but we'll play that anyway. You can see you do want to try to full block this guy when you can, because you'll get wounds in your hand if you don't. Terror, very good against the Book of Stabbing. Infinite Blades. Now we will find out what happens with the shivs. I'm going to hold Piercing Wail for a more deadly potential turn. 7 times 5 looks pretty good. You like to see that. And we'll deflect a block a little bit. The shiv is not randomized. Good to know. So we did do our prediction justice there. We can acrobatics and try to get a random 0 cost. I think it will be that because it is a draw. And that risk did pay dividends that time. So we block a little more. And we can hold a card. I'm not going to hold these. I'd rather see them re-rolled into something hopefully less expensive. Now this is this looks like a dream come true at this point in the fight. Piercing Wail should, yep, take him down to no damage. We will defend. And I feel very confident. As a matter of fact, it's a guarantee that we will get out of this fight. Let's hit him with a big old masterful stab. 26 gold in the sundial. Every 3 times you shuffle your draw pile, gain 2 energy. Could come in handy for us because due to the randomization of the cost of our cards. Alright, you're going to offer me another bouncing flask. I won't say no to that. And let's rest here. And here we go. We start with weak, which is a little disappointing. A lot of 3-cost cards. Well-laid plans, but I'm not going to save a card here. Let's get those costs spun again. So Corpse Explosion is helpful in this fight. You can take out the minions and it will hit all the other enemies. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll put it on the lower health one. We are going to take some damage here. I don't think that's avoidable. So we'll hit this guy. And again, right now, Retain has not done a whole lot for us just because we're trying to get rid of the high cost cards. But this turn is not looking so bad. Let's see. So we want to make sure this guy goes. We definitely want to block. These guys are both gone. We're going to take a little damage. Not going to hang on to a 2-cost defend. Alright, now we definitely play Tools of the Trade. We want to chuck the Bouncing Flask for 1. If we can stack some poison on this guy, that's definitely going to help us. No other cards to play. I'll keep the 1-cost strike. I'm willing to do it. Negative effects inbound. Card to discard. We got 31 incoming. I'm going to ditch Survivor, although it is block. Because at 3, I just don't think it's worth it. Let's make him vulnerable. Let's weaken him. Let's play a free Acrobatics. We will ditch a 3-cost. I know it sounds like I'm kind of a stream of consciousness here, but I feel like these turns have played themselves a little bit. Piercing Wail for 2. Tough call, tough call. We can do 12 damage or get 3 block. It's actually going to be more than 12, so it'll be 18. I mean, 3 block. I mean, I know it's, yeah, it's damage. We don't want to die, but this guy's low enough and vulnerable. Nah. I could have kept the strike, I guess, but 23 coming again. With the leg sweep, I don't think we have to play a 2-cost defend. Let's free strike. Let's free strike. Let's leg sweep. Let's get some more poison on this guy. Let's go ahead and play the block. $23. Just don't forget, we do have the intangible. Alright, we do not need Piercing Wail this turn for sure. Stack the... Well, no, I think we have them. We have them. Yeah, very nice. So we're going to see Act 3 yet again. Have we made it to Act 3 on every run so far? I can't remember where our first earlier run ended. We might have died on Act 2 in one of them. I can't remember for sure. Doppelganger seems interesting here. We got some 1-cost rare cards. Doppelganger +2, and you get always playable, and we get energy to kind of mitigate the downside of Snecko Eye. Seems very useful to me. All right, we get Tiny House, a little bit of everything. We get Runic Pyramid, no longer discard. This could be bad, because if we get stuck with high-cost cards, we're screwed. And then Cursed Key seems very good to me, as already kind of made my opinions clear on Curse Key. I think it's great. And we're getting on the end of the second act, making it even better. Let's go ahead and go for it. We're on Act 3. We have a matchup against the Awakened one. I think it's his name. We do play some powers. I would not say our powers are absolutely mission critical. I'm liking the left path here. Maybe hit one of these shops. Oh, these are a little enemy heavy though. I'm not really seeing a better option. Let's start on the left node. Alright, so we get our trio of weird floaty guys here. Definitely want to work down the exploder first. Let's not let him explode. That weakness is really hurting us. We cannot finish this guy off. I'm going to play the attack potion. I think it's worth it here. We will block enough. I'm a little concerned that our block solution right now might not be quite enough. I mean, we don't need a 3-cost terror. Infinite Blade's definitely good. Let's take energy and card draw. I'm not sure that we're going to get the benefit of all of that draw, but the energy will certainly come in handy. Yes, our hand is full. I mean, I think of this particular selection, we will ditch 2-cost strike. 1,000 cuts. I would love to try to get Bouncing Flask to hit Spiker as much as possible. So that is about the best we can do. I don't think we can force it into the Spiker, but... Okay, 9 on him is pretty good. 6... When attacked, it deals 5 damage back. I think we learned... Was it last run or maybe 2 runs ago? 1 skewer, or 1 X-cost attack, it's only going to hit me back once. I don't think this is going to do 40 damage. Let's hope I'm right. Oh, baby. Not even a little bit. All right. Let's remember that. What enemy was I thinking of? Maybe the Guardian? Is it the floor 1 boss? That stings. Let's skip the card here. Alright, Corpse Explosion once again. We would love to have that earlier in our draw. I think a Ninja Scroll may be doing more harm than good. But, you know. It helped us along the way, though. I would like to block, please. I would like to block more than I just did, but... Pretty good start. Okay, we do get the Corpse Explosion here. I think we want to put it on the lowest health enemy. I think 1,000 cuts is actually going to help us a lot here. Piercing Will's just 18 block, basically. Very nice. We like that. Let's see, 443. It says... I'm going to take the more conservative path after that last disaster and just play a block, and we'll take a little damage. Alright, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get you out of here, son. Like, silent as a woman, isn't she? Let's see. You get the idea, though. Okay. We survived the Darklings. Yeah, leg sweep at this point. A non-power, strong block. That's, that fits my, description of what we're looking for. It's gonna cost 3 here, though. This is a lot of damage. I think acrobatics might be playable here. Yeah, so we trade out our 3-cost leg sweep for a 0-cost leg sweep. That's pretty good. We have 19 block. We are taking 33. So we take 14 here. We're coming up. Yeah, we can go shop / fire. Yeah, I think we're okay to eat this one. And we did weaken another enemy. Yeah, yeah, that's not so bad. We'll take a little damage. Let's hope we can find a way to keep the streak alive here. This was not maybe my finest run. There's some obvious errors, and that's with me just sitting here playing. I'm sure if those of you watching it back will find more. Wow, we cannot play 2 cards, so we have to hit this guy, I think. This exploder is concerning me. If we get a 30 damage explosion coming our way, we might have to pop the intangible. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Yeah, we can take this guy out. That's good. I'll throw the piercing whale out there. Why not? Let's hit this guy. We always have a way to hit the spiker with our 1,000 cuts, and we can play the X-cost card for 1 extra damage, 2 extra damage actually. That 2 damage, guys, that's the difference. Trust me. Okay. Okay. 10 HP left. We get some days out of the deck. We get some energy from the sundial here. Yeah, so let's just not attack this guy. Let's not be stupid. Might be built into my DNA. Good stuff. We get a potion. We get the duplication potion. That could come in handy with something like a corpse explosion or a bouncing flask. I'll take a second bouncing flask. I'm going to take the bouncing flask because we can really stack it up against the awakened one without triggering the power downside. Oddly smooth stone. We get some dexterity. We can upgrade 2 skills or the frozen eye. When viewing your draw pile, the cards are now shown in order. I think the frozen eye is probably good. I am lazy and don't always look at my draw pile when I should with the frozen eye. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Even after playing this game for a long time, I kind of always forget what order the cards are shown when you look at your draw pile. That alone kind of deters me from taking this. Any obvious removals here? I mean, I think deflect is pretty garbage. Let's take the 0-cost deflect out. Maybe we get a little more gold. We'll think about hitting the other shop. Oh, we get the transmogrifier. Before you lies an elaborate shrine to a forgotten spirit, we can transform a card with no downside. Very nice. Looking to see if there's anything here that's maybe not great for us. The well-laid plans has really not done much for us, but I'm not going to say there's no times we will use that. I'm going to do it with a strike. We get flechettes. Deal 4 damage for each skill in your hand. We have quite a few skills, and we have a lot of card draw. I could see a situation where that's good. I'm going to rest. I don't want to fly too close to the sun on the wings of pastrami, as our favorite Seinfeld hooligan would say. Let's see. Smacking this guy with the shivs basically does nothing, but I don't want them to go into our discard pile. Unfortunate to see such a high damage number there, but we have 4 skills. Leg sweep. Okay. Let's keep the weak on this guy. We have plenty of block. Let's doppelganger. And let's hope we can start to stack some poison. This is one of those fights where poison can help you get through it very effectively. And unfortunately, we drew none of our poison cards. We do have the option to play 1,000 Cuts in acrobatics. I'm going to play the defend to make some room in our hand. It's a little better. Okay. There's plenty of weak. I don't want to risk the curse with skewer. That's my hesitation there. We are not full blocking. So I think let's full block. Okay, okay. Well, this really ups the randomization spinner here. Okay, that's actually probably the ideal attack we want to go up against, because now we hit him with a lot of poison. No reason to play one over the other here, I don't think. So 21 poison is pretty good. Now we want to keep the attacks as low as possible, and let's try to block as much as we can. We did not really get the block we were looking for, though. Let's just get the poison. Let's try to end this fight. We can. 11, I think, is low enough against the writhing mass that I am not going to risk spinning into a curse this late in the game. Block or... yeah. 7? Okay. I did exactly what I said I wouldn't do, but it worked out. And now, all we have to do is click end turn. Doesn't really matter. And we're out of this fight. Not unscratched, but a little scratched. I don't think those are what we're looking for. Okay, we see the Darklings again. I think little interesting tidbit here. I think the Darklings might be one of the only fights where it's possible to see them multiple times in the same act. Somebody call me out on that if I'm mistaken, but I think that is true. Seems like a fine time to play Piercing Wail. We're still not going to full block. I'm a little concerned about our ability to block still. Seems like we've taken quite a bit of chip damage along the way. $20. Can block 19 or acrobatics and risk nothing. I'll block 19. Looking for corpse explosion. We did not do a good enough job removing cards from our deck, I think. All right, so we 48 here. This guy's done. We got to hit this guy. And I think that is good enough. Very satisfying end of that fight. The weak potion or liquid memories? I think liquid memories is pretty good here. Eviscerate. One less for each card discarded this turn, but a 3-cost card that could become cheaper. We do have the bonus strength too. Pretty interesting. I'm going to try it. We would get a curse here. We would be able to remove it, but that would be at the expense of a campfire, which, make no mistake, opportunity cost in Slay the Spire is an expense, even if it's not presented to you directly. I think we should leave this relic on the ground. As much as it pains me not to open the shiny chest. All right. Let's see. But enough about Slay the Spire. Let's talk about life a little bit. I learned recently that the Common app, like for colleges, is a much more present option than it was when I was applying for school. Apparently almost every major university takes it now. And that was absolutely not the case when I was applying. I remember I didn't apply to a whole lot of schools, but I had to do separate apps for all of them for sure. Seems like a pretty positive change to me. I would think that the questions and the data they're looking for is pretty much the same, right? I mean, I don't, at least in terms of, like, you know, SAT scores, grades, ACT, all that good stuff. Okay, so good for them. I like that. 3 damage. I don't know why I'm doing such an intense calculation. I never took the ACT when I was in school. It just never really, I think it was offered, but the SAT was just kind of the bigger test, and it sounds like the actual grading of that test has changed quite a bit. When I was taking it, it was out of 2100. I don't think that's the case anymore. Kind of interesting. All right, not great. We can play the skewer for 1, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, to all you you kids out there getting ready for university or wherever you're going next, I'm rooting for you. Good luck. I hope you go where you want to go, get in where you want to get in, but just remember, if it doesn't work out that way, it is not the end of the world. I really do think that experience is what you make of it. I was just a horrendous student when I first started in college, and I think you know, the opportunities were there. I don't blame the school for that at all. I really think it was on me for not doing more with the resources that were presented to me, but I got it together eventually. So don't give up. Let's see. 3 cost Masterful Stab, not so good. We can make Eviscerate. Does this still work with Snecko? Yes, so it does decrease. Good to know. Bouncing Flask is fine. Okay, and we survive another floor. You know, I thought these runs would get a little faster, but it seems like getting to Act 3... What, another Piercing Whale. Tough call. I think with an exhausting card, definitely worth it. But yeah, just getting to Act 3 is time consuming to do it if you do it right. Oh, Chemical X. Skewer. Doppelganger. Gosh, I don't think it gives us enough. We can mitigate our our bad mask with the Bag of Marbles. Start of each combat, apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies, so we can still do some damage, or we can remove. The bomb? Can't afford that. At the end of 3 turns, deal 50 damage to all enemies. Do you guys think the bomb is a reference to the old Batman show from like the 60s? Where Batman says, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. And he's running around with a comically large bomb, like shown in this picture. I always thought that has to be a reference to that. Pretty good first draw here. The Spire Growth, first time we've seen this, he's going to apply a debuff here that damages us every turn, so very scary fight most of the time. 9 times 3 is pretty good. We can also play a card again with the... If we really want to get crazy, we can duplicate Eviscerate and then bring it back and then play it again. This does not seem like that dire of a situation. I think I'm going to hit him with the Eviscerate. Let's Doppelganger, get some more energy next turn. Yeah, I think we want to try to hold some potions for that last fight. Infinite Blades is good. Bouncing Flask, good. Leg Sweep cheaper, good. So we'll take 10 damage, so we actually have not quite full blocked here. Should have played Flechettes earlier. Let's ditch our more expensive cards and put some more poison on this guy. You guys will have to let me know what you think of the music quality now that I've messed with the audio settings a little bit. I think that this will be better. I think this works out. Yeah. This will hit me on... It does hit me there. Wow, I did not know that. That's unfortunate. Yeah, but hopefully it sounds a little better. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell when I'm listening through the headphones and I can't hear my own voice. I may also play with the bringing my voice to the forefront AI thing a little bit more. Maybe make that effect a little weaker. I think Nightmare. Choose a card. Next turn, add 3 copies of that card. That could be good here. Ooh, the falling event. We begin to fall. We can lose a plain defend, which, that seems fine. Tools of the Trade or Masterful Stab. Ooh, this Masterful Stab will never be 0 anymore. Basic defend. I actually think all of these kind of benefit us a little bit. I'm going to ditch the 0 cost Masterful Stab. I'm more worried about our block than our damage. We also have ways to put poison. We get the chest to pop, like the tiny chest, but Curse going into the final boss, I think, is not takeable for us. We're going to rest here. So we have 63 HP. We did take the Ghost in the Jar for a long journey up the full spire. Let's see if we can make this work. Tools of the Trade is 0, and let's remind ourselves what happens here. So if we play a power, he gains 1 strength. I don't think that's that bad. But I don't think we need Tools of the Trade that badly. I'm pretty sure we can take out this cultist. And we want to be careful here, so we want to corpse explosion him, so we don't want to just finish him off. Maybe I miscalculated that a little bit. Well, no, we'll kill him in 2 turns, which is fine. So we can do 7 here. That would not finish him. Okay. Let's Survivor. I am not going to play this strike. Probably would have played that strike. Well, my thought process was Doppelganger. I'm a little tempted to pull back Corpse Explosion and then do double damage with this guy. As a matter of fact, let's do it. So Strike would have been better here without question. I will Piercing Wail here. I'm going to save the other one for the second phase. And I will not play Tools of the Trade, I don't think. Alright, so this guy's gonna... The cultists are no more. We can pretty much rule them out of our calculations. Ooh, this is another tough one. Do we Terror the Awakened one now? Or do we wait until the second phase? I am going to wait until the second phase. We have plenty of block. I would like to ditch a strike and play acrobatics. We have 9 energy. So I really want to be able to draw. If we discard, we can also get Eviscerate 1 cheaper. Nightmare. This is gonna sound crazy. Is this the right play? I don't know. Oh, there's a lot of good choices here. Let's talk about it. My instinct is Nightmare Terror. We will add 3 of those. That guarantees we can play Terror this phase. Now, the downside to that is we do not need 4 Terrors. You know what we might need 4 of is Piercing Whale. However, it will cost 3 because it's getting added to our hand, so we would have to wait for it to come back, which is a little tough. I'm going to play Nightmare. Eviscerate for 1 is also interesting, but I am going to take Piercing Whale. I just think the second phase of this guy does a lot of multi-hit attacks. I think that's the right choice. We can always save Terror. These guys are gone. We're full blocking. Let's start hitting the Awakened one a little bit. Let's keep him weak, and let's hit him with a strike. So I'm pretty happy with that decision. We do some big damage from Corpse Explosion. 3 Piercing Whales, so we could, this is an opportunity to use that. Played the power there. I think that 1,000 cuts will give us enough of a benefit that that's worth it. Especially considering we can play Piercing Whale here. I will not play the Well-Laid Plans. I'll play a Defend to get the 1,000 cuts damage. The ideal situation here is we start stacking some poison. Infinite Blade 0. Shame not to play that. We only have 2 skills. So confident we're not going to play this. I'll ditch the 1 cost tools of the trade, actually. We have 3 skills now. We have the block. Okay, okay. Let's not forget we have Ghost in a Jar. I'm going to try to save the Duplication Potion. I think ideally we want to play something like a Corpse Explosion or one of our Bouncing Flask in the second phase for maximum effect. And I will block the rest of this damage. I'm trying to save the Piercing Whales for a more immediate emergency. This guy's still weak. This might be a more immediate emergency. 14 blocks. Well, I can block 19, or I can stack some poison. I'm gonna stack the poison and take a little damage. And now I think the name of the game is, if we can KO him here, let's do it. If we cannot KO him here, we will go for a full block. Let's see. So he's got 29 poison. We're 17 short. We are full blocking. So we'll do 12. No, we can't quite get there. But I don't think it's going to matter too much. All right, we do get him here. So this is an opportunity. We do want to try to be smart. We have a power in hand. We want to KO him, which will disable the power downside. And now we pop Tools of the Trade. Although it is of minimal benefit, it's not nothing. 53 HP going into second phase. I think we got a shot. It's not perfect, but we are in there. We're in there. 3 costful shots. I don't see that happening. Lots of 0 costs, so I think we start there. We can weaken. Very good. We did not get our terror as early as I would have liked. $20 damage. I'm gonna hold it. Hold. All right. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty here. This feels like a Piercing Whale for sure. And I'm not going to play 2 Piercing Whales, though. I will play the Infinite Blades. He does not have the power buff anymore in the second phase. We have full block, and that is why Piercing Wail, I'm telling you, for a common card, it is just, it's incredibly strong. Very good. You'd love to have it here. What do we discard? He's not weak. This might be a ghost in a jar kind of turn. I'm going to dish the leg sweep with the intent to play ghost in a jar. But let's do that last, in case I misplay something. Might have done it right there. Terror is maybe good enough at 2. And I will play the ghost in a jar. So we're taking 3 here. Might as well pop it to get the 1 damage. Any of these worth keeping? 1 cost flechette seems fine. Okay. 3 cost neutralize I think is too much. 7 times 6 is pretty good. We can block and weaken here. He is not currently weak. I think we start. That's a big enough attack. I think we play it. 19. I will leg sweep to full block. And a 1 cost bouncing flask is definitely good enough, I think. I don't want the void to come back around. We do have a piercing wail here. Let's ditch the 3 cost strike. And now the question is duplication potion. I think we either do that, let's see, on the bouncing flask, or maybe eviscerate. 12 times 36. So that's 72. That's a pretty big double. And this would be 24. Yeah, I think eviscerate is the move here. Okay. Let's hit him with the shiv. We have to play piercing wail here. We don't have any way to block. So we're going to take a little damage. But we can play bouncing flask, and we can play the other bouncing flask on top of that. And we can keep the weak going. I'll keep a 1 cost strike. Corpse explosion, not bad there, but 14. We have a lot of skills though. Does it tell me how many? We have 6. I think 3 cost flechettes might be okay here. I definitely want to keep piercing wail. We will retain this. I'm going to ditch our strike. Skewer is better than strike even at 1. Also playable. If we get this guy down to 1, we can play it for 0 and still win there. Okay. So this is 7 times 6 again. Very strong. We can play the shiv. We can play all of these other cards, and we'll keep the piercing wail and do some free damage with 1,000 cuts. We'll keep him weak. We don't need it to vent, so we should use skewer. And let's keep piercing wail in case this is a big attack incoming. It's not going to matter, I don't think. It is an 8x3. I guess the question now, do we let poison do the honors, or do we let's let Riddle with Holes have its time in the sun here. All right. How about that? The streak stays alive. I think we're at our new high of 3, which is nothing amazing, but I'm proud of it nonetheless. 732 damage. Very nice win there. I think we took a few fun risks. We got the bad mask, but we made it work. We unlock Ascension level 2. Not quite enough for an unlock, but that's okay. Let's see if anything happens after the fade to black here. Doesn't look like it. Looks like we're back at the main menu. Well, look, everybody, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Having a great time with the One Last Ride playthrough. It's just, I don't know. I miss this game. But thanks again for watching. Have a great day. See y'all next time. Catch you later. Bye.